Today's practice is going to be completely laying down. This is a lovely practice that you can do when you're trying to wind down in the evening. It can be really nice to do before bed. It's just a nice way to help relax, unwind, and the entire practice is going to be completed laying down. It can be nice to have a pillow nearby, so if you want to get that, have that nearby for you. Let's get started. So we will lay down onto the floor, onto our mat. We'll just take a second to maybe stretch the legs out, reach the arms overhead, go for a really, really big full stretch, big full deep breath in, and then allow everything to soften down to the floor as you exhale. And then we're going to slowly, try and move slowly if we can, to start to bring the right knee in towards your chest. And just gently drawing the knee in towards your body. Play around with some movement here, maybe moving the ankle. If it feels too tight to have the other leg lengthened out along the floor, you can always draw that foot in a little closer to you. I encourage you to try and move slow with this practice. Allow yourself to just take the time to feel things out, see how the body is feeling. And then next, we're going to start to lengthen the leg up towards the ceiling. You can always bend the other knee. And we're going to draw the heel down and extend up. We're going to do that a few times. So if things are feeling really tight, having the other knee bent can help. But if you want to give that a little extra stretch and see how it feels, keep the leg lengthened along the floor. We'll go for a couple more here. Next, we're going to take your hand onto the knee. So if it's the right leg that you've got drawn in, right hand on the knee, left hand will reach towards the ankle, and we're just going to start to gently open the knee up, or out, I should say, open the knee out. And then we'll slowly start to draw the knee into the middle, and then you're going to just gently hug the knee in closer towards you. This may give you quite a big stretch in the glutes, so just be mindful of that. Try not to hold your breath. If you're finding it's uncomfortable with your neck on the floor, this is where we could take a pillow and place that underneath the head. And that may feel more comfortable for some of us. Now, if anything feels tight throughout this practice, I want you to think about inhaling and exhaling towards the area that feels tight, starting to consciously think about letting that part of the body to soften, to elongate, to relax. All right, we're going to release the ankle. Take a second here to just kind of move a little bit, see what feels good. And then we're going to cross. We'll have the opposite hand on the knee. We're going to cross that over the body and go for a little bit of a twist here. If it feels nicer to have both knees bent, feel free to bend both your knees. You can turn the head, look in the opposite direction. As much as we can, we're trying to keep our shoulders on the floor. And just breathe gently into the twist. Feel free to stay in any of the poses for longer than what I'm doing. Just kind of go with what feels right for you this evening or whatever time you're doing this practice. We're going to slowly roll back to center. And then we're going to repeat those on the other side. So we'll draw the knee in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug here. Check in, see where we notice the stretch. Maybe we add a little ankle movement. If it feels too intense, just gently bring the other leg in. Noticing if the breath has become shallow or if we're holding the breath. So Take a moment to start to deepen the inhales if we can and lengthen the exhales. Next, we're going to start to extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So we'll stretch up and we'll lower down. We're going to do that a few times. Again, option to bring the other knee in a little bit closer to you if it's feeling too tight. Notice if there's any differences from one side to the other. We'll go for one more here. And then we're going to start to go for that glute stretch again. So we're going to have, if it's the left leg that you have in towards the chest, left hand on the knee. Right hand will reach towards the ankle. We'll slowly start to turn the leg out a little bit. Again, we don't want to force anything, but just go gentle. See how it's feeling, kind of exploring this shape. And we're going to gently just draw the knee in towards the center as much as we can. And then we're going to hug that leg in a little bit closer to you. That hopefully gives us a bit of a stretch in the glutes. One side, I think I said this already, may feel tighter than the other. So just exploring that. See what you notice. Keep the breath going. So we're not holding our breath. If it feels really tight, let's try and send the breath there and consciously connecting to that part of the body, allowing it to start to soften, to relax. Let's go one or two more breaths here. And then we're going to go for our supine twist. So we can have opposite hand on the knee as it crosses it over the body. Trying to keep the shoulders on the floor. You might look in the opposite direction with the neck. And of course, we have the option to have both knees bent if that feels better for you. So we're sort of wringing ourselves out with this. Keep breathing deep. Go one more inhale and one more exhale. And then we'll slowly come back to center. We're going to place both feet on the mat, arms on the floor. Feet are about hip width apart. When we're ready, you're going to press into all 4 points of the feet. We're going to tuck the tailbone up. We're going to lift the hips as high as we can. All right. Start to notice that we feel the glutes fire up. Might get a stretch up here on the tops of the legs. Trying to fill the breath right into the belly, right up into the chest. Find a little length to the back of the neck. One more inhale and exhale. And then we can release. And we're going to lift the feet up off the floor and draw the knees in towards your chest. So you can give it a little hug, a little rock side to side. You might pull the nose up towards your knees. We're going to place the hands on the knees and circle the knees in one direction. Just feeling things out, see how that feels. Maybe giving yourself a little gentle massage, reverse and go the opposite way. And then if that's feeling good, stay with that. Maybe just changing up the direction every so often. If you'd also like to try moving the knees in opposite directions, you can draw the knees forward. They'll go out, so both of them will go out in the opposite circle, and then they'll come back into center. So now we're guiding the knees and drawing a big circle, or two big circles with the knees, but the movement is happening in our hip sockets. And then just like when we were doing the other circles, you want to make sure that you get both directions. Something else we could try here is circling out the wrists and the ankles. So keep moving the hips if that's feeling good, but another option to also add in the wrist and the ankle joints, going for a few circles each way. And then we can finish with a happy baby pose. So for happy baby, we're going to start to widen the knees, draw them in. You can hold the backs of the thighs. If it's available, we could reach for the outside of our feet, or you could hold on to your big toes. We want to think about lengthening our tailbone along the floor as much as possible. So if our tailbone is lifting up too much, let's bring the hands to the backs of the thighs and see if we can find some length there. Also, another option would be to do one leg at a time. That might feel nicer if it feels too intense to do both. So play around with it, see what feels good for you. You could also add a little rock side to side here with happy baby as well. We're going to take a few deep breaths, whichever variation of the pose you're in. If you're doing one side, just make sure that you also go for the other side, get a few breaths there. Breathing deep, one more breath in and out. And then we can slowly release. We're going to lengthen the legs out long if that feels comfortable for the back. If it doesn't feel comfortable, feel free to keep the knees bent. What can sometimes be nice is if you have the feet a little wider, maybe as wide as your mat, and then let the knees fall in. That can sometimes feel nicer for some of us for our backs. If it feels okay to have the legs long, go for it. Another option could be a butterfly pose. So if you have the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. So lots of variations of where you can go here. We're just going to allow ourselves to find a comfortable position, draw the shoulders away from the ears, and let's go for one more big breath in here through the nose. And then a big long exhale with a sigh at the end, and allow everything to just sink down into the floor. Feel the support of the floor underneath you, maybe of the pillow, if you've got one underneath your head. And then feel free to stay here for as long as feels good. I'm just going to bring my palms together and bring them up to my forehead. We're going to take one more, let's go one more cycle of breath all together. And then we can exhale with a lovely sigh out. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me this evening. Hopefully it's helped you feel a little bit calmer and a little more relaxed before bed. Something else that I would suggest as well that can be nice before heading to bed or in the evening time is doing a little bit of soft tissue work. So if you've got a foam roller or a massage ball, pick a spot that's maybe feeling tight or sore. And we want to make sure that we're just going on the muscle. So my calves are feeling a bit tight today. So you can place the calf on top of your roller or your ball, and you're just going to kind of gently move around on the muscle. All right. So we're not on the joint. So no ankle, no knee, for instance, for this one. And I'm just allowing a little bit of pressure. It's like I'm giving myself a soft tissue massage. And if I find a spot that feels tight or a bit sore or a bit stiff, I can allow myself to hold there for a moment and breathe. And so this can be another nice option as well to help for when we're unwinding at nighttime. And if you do lift weights, all of our muscles get tight when we're lifting, which is great because they're getting stronger. But these can be nice practices to do to help balance out the tightness that we get from when we're in the gym, or tightness just from maybe our day, things stiffening up from maybe sitting at a desk or not moving as much. So this can also be a nice one for that. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.